Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, ma'am.
Sir, you can start, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Pa. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Ajay. Already told you, no? Okay, thank you. Ajay,
Sir,
the screen sharing is not possible, no? The screen sharing, you have to do that one. Yeah. Yes, thank you. Okay, my dear students, last class what we have discussed already, about what is by oogenesis. What are the hormones responsible for the production of the egg? That things also already we discussed, isn't it? And before that, about the what are the hormones responsible for the female reproductive system. Okay, that things also already we discussed. Okay, so normally, about what are the hormones? Will you please, anybody else? So here already mentioned here, gonadotrophin, so pituitary gonadotrophin or the GnRH, isn't it? This is the first one. And also anti-pituitary secrete the follicular stimulating hormone, FSH. Okay, these are very, very important. And then luteinizing hormone is already we'll discuss, isn't it? It is also one of the anti-rear pituitary hormones. Okay, and then estrogen, progesterone is also very, very important. Progesterone is very important for the suspense ovulation during the pregnancy, promote the implantations, already we discussed. At the end of the pregnancy, the corpus albicans secrete the relaxant. Relaxant is very, very important for the pregnancy times. It is also essential for the, which one, broadens the pelvis for easy pasteurization delivery process. Okay, relax. That is the reason. The muscles relaxation. It is very, very important. So next we are going to discuss about the important side heading is ovarian reproductive cycles. Okay, it's only occurs in the female body, isn't it? There are two types of the reproductive cycle. Is there one is called as estrous cycles, another one is called as menstruous cycles. These are the two cycles have been reported. The estrous cycles is a very important thing. See here, the estrous cycle is the first one, is named so it non-primate mammals. It only occurs in the non-primate mammals. Estrus means heat, which denotes the ovulation time with very high level of estrogen in the female body. The entire period is divided into 4 phases. Here, estrus cycles is mostly found in where, sometimes they may ask the questions non-primate. We are all primate, isn't it? Non-primate mammals. Estrus means heat, which denotes the ovulation time with a very high level of estrogen. That is very, very important. Okay, estrus cycle, which hormone is very high? Estrogen. Okay, so they also divided into 4 phases. The estrus cycles is also, it has a 4 phases, otherwise called as porphyriad. See, so estrus cycles, they occur in 4 stages. In non-primate animal, they are as follows. First one is called as pro-estrus phase, and estrus phase, metastrus phase, and diestrus phase. Metastrus, otherwise called as metastrus phase. These are the 4 phases occurs in the non-primate animals. Okay, so that things is very, very important. Sometimes they may ask the questions. Estrus cycles where it occurs, non-primate. Already we told you. Given examples of non-primate animals. Will you please, anybody else? Non-primate.
Sir, dog, cow.
Yeah, very good. Super. So, in this category, if you want more information about these things, estrus cycles, for example, pro-estrus phase and estrus phase and metastrus phase, and another one is called as diestrus phase. Just to go to the book. Okay. So this is for your reference. Okay. For the next one, it's a very important one, and no need to skip in this category. We will not skip in this category. So the menstrual cycles, mensum, that is nothing but the month. Note it down. This is menstrual cycles, mostly in the female. Already know very well about. But what are the menstrual cycles? What we are going to discuss here, what is my menstrual cycles? What are the hormones responsible for that? And how it will be. Okay. See here. The reproductive cycle in the female primates, example, monkeys, apes, and also human beings, is called as a menstrual cycles. It is a physiological process which occurs in the female reproductive part only. The first menstruation being at puberty and is called as menarche. They ask the question, what is menarche? It's a first menstruation or last menstruation or sometimes something else like that. This is the first menstruations being at puberty. This is called as puberty and is called as menarche. The puberty is also otherwise called as, what is that? Menarche, like that. In human females, menstruation is repeated at an average interval of about 28 to 29 days. This is the exact date. Each one it has a specific dates. And the cycles of events starting from one menstruation till the next one is called as a menstrual cycle. Suppose in the duration of the or the period of the one cycle to another cycle, okay, that event is called as, what is that? Menstrual cycle. So 28 days, the maximum 28 to 29 days. Next cycle, it will start after 28 days, like that. That cycle is called as, what is that? Menstrual cycles. Okay, this is our first introduction of the menstrual cycles. So go to the next one is, depending upon the changes in ovary and uterus, that is a preparation for conception and pregnancy and associated hormonal changes, the cycle is dividing into 3 phases. Already know very well about the female reproductive part. There is a menstrual cycle is possible. Is that, what is that? Already we discussed what is menstrual cycles, where it occurs, and primates, example, monkey, apes, human beings. Here they may ask the questions, the menstrual cycles occurs only in the primates or non-primate, like that they may ask the questions. Okay, the first menstruation is called as, what is that? What about the days? How many days it will be repeated, the cycles, like that they may ask the questions. Okay, so what are the phases is that there are 3 phases have been reported. One is called as follicular phase, otherwise called as proliferating phase. follicular or proliferating phase. Second one is called as luteal or secretory phase. And third one is called as menstrual or bleeding phase. These are the three phases that have been reported. But here we are going to discover reversely bleeding phase started from this one, and then follicular and then luteal phase we are going to study. Okay. See here, the first one is called as, what is that? Follicular proliferation, luteal secretory phase, and also menstrual or bleeding phases. Okay, these are the things. First one is, see here, the menstrual or bleeding phases is the first one they have given. This phase lasts for about 3 to 5 days. The cycle starts with the menstrual phases when the menstrual flow occurs and it lasts for 3 to 5 days. This is a normal date. The menstrual flow results due to the breakdown of endometrial lining. Note it down, this is very, very important. During the time of menstrual cycles, what happens, the endometrium lining of the uterus and its blood vessels that forms liquid which comes out through the female reproductive organ. Okay, that is called as bleeding phase. The menstruations only occurs if the released ovum is not fertilized. Suppose the ovum is waiting for the fertilization process. Suppose if it is not fertilized, what happens? Automatically it may be eliminated or elucidated from the female reproductive part. That condition is called as bleeding stage, otherwise called as menstrual cycles. Okay, so this is the thing. If the fertilization does not occur, the high concentration of progesterone, it is also another aspect. Suppose the high concentration of the progesterone, what happens? The fertilization is not possible inside. The blood inhibit the release of LH from the hypothalamus pituitary complex. Suppose here the progesterone concentration will be very high. What happens? Fertilization it not takes place. It is also one of the assessment reasoning questions or true false questions. Sometimes they may ask the questions. When the fertilization is not occur, the progesterone concentration will be high. Estrogen, likewise oxytocin, prolactin concentration will be very high. Which one is the correct one? So progesterone concentration will be very high. What happens? Automatically the fertilization does not occur. And also it inhibits the progesterone also already know, but inhibit action also. The LH from the hypothalamus pituitary complexes. Okay, there is another condition. The reduction of LH level causes a regression of corpus luteum and a consequent fall in the progesterone level in the blood. Fall. So this is very, very important. When the luteinizing hormone level is causes the regressions of the corpus luteum, as a result, what happens? The progesterone concentration will be very less, fall onto the normal level. Okay, this is another point. The uterine line dies due to the deficiency of the progesterone and is slatted off. This is, what is that? Uterine lining dies due to the deficiency. Suppose here, what happened? The LH activity on the progesterone, what happened? Automatically, the progesterone concentration will be very less. Okay. As a result, what happened? The progesterone and is slaughtered off. The blood vessels rupture, causing bleeding. The blood vessels continue. Finally, what happened? This process, the physiological hormonal changes which occur within the uterus. What happened? The blood vessels ruptures takes place. As a result, blood vessels rupture mean automatically the bleeding is also comes out. Okay, so this is the another things. The endometrial tissues unfertilized egg and some 50 to 100 ml of the blood is released during this period. This is the bleeding time. 50 to 100 ml of blood with the unfertilized egg and also endometrial tissues. These are the three parts also eliminated during the bleeding periods. The basal part of the endometrium remains intact during the menstruation and is the source of a new uterine lining and glands which later redevelop. After this period, after one or few days, what happened? Regeneration, new uterine lining and glands which later redevelop under the influence of the estradiol for the next cycle. Which one is induced the next cycle, menstrual cycle? Means, see here, estradiol. This is very, very important. Estrogen, like that, the component estradiol, alcohol form nature. Okay, The lower level of the progesterone and estradiol due to the degeneration of the corpus luteum causes release of FSH from the anterior pituitary, the initiate the new cycles. Okay, new cycles, how it will be processed already in our report. Here the what are the changes which occurs? Fertilization does not occur the high concentration. As a result, what happened in all? LH automatically secreted from the hypothalamus. It reduces the progesterone. Okay, this is the normal things. So that time what happened, the progesterone concentration will be very less. That time the blood vessels rupture causing bleeding. During bleeding time, what are the content is eliminated? The endometrial tissues and fertilized egg and 100 ml of blood. Okay, so after that, what will happen? You re-enter the next cycles. Okay, after the finishing of the first menstruations, it will start out the next menstruation cycle. And this is sources of the new uterine lining and gland, which later redevelop under the influence of the estradiol for the next cycle. This lower level of the progesterone and estradiol due to the degeneration of the corpus luteum causes release of the FSH from the anterior pituitary. They initiate the new cycle. Okay, once again the progesterone will be very, what is that? High. Automatically FSH secreted. The FSH is also essential for the new cycles. Which are the hormones? What are the hormones are essential for the second cycle? Like that they may ask the question. So FSH and progesterone is very, very important. And the follicular cells secrete the estradiol. This is very, very important. Estradiol secreted by the follicular cells that inhibit the FSH secretion, stopping the menstrual flow and repairing the uterine lining. It is essential for the next cycle, isn't it? This is very, very important. Once again, repeat for you. Estradiol is a very, very important. Estradiol, what happened? It inhibits the FSH. That's why the menstrual flow is stopped. After that, what happened? It repairing all the parts. What are the parts already in our blood? The lining, internal lining, glands, and also the hormonal activities also repair once again, are regenerated once again, and sort out. Then you, what is that? Cycle. Lack of menstruation may be indicative of pregnancy. Suppose the menstruation is not possible. First month, second month, it's not possible, means the lady may be pregnant. That means the physio gambit occurs within the fallopian tube. However, it may also be caused due to some other underlying causes like stress, poor health, etc. Sometimes the menstruation is also what happen, indicative. So sometimes it not happen. It may be, sometimes it may be more than that normal time. Okay, due to the stress or poor health. Sometimes the poor health, the health is also very, very important. Then only the hormonal imbalance or something else like that. Okay, for the next one. And second phase is called as proliferating phase. This is also a second phase. It comprises the following events. Note it down. This is a very, very important things. How the egg is produced already we studied. What are the hormones responsible? That things we are going to study in this portion. It comprises the following events. The anterior pituitary lobe secretes the follicular stimulating hormone. Already we discussed. The follicular stimulating hormone increases the level of the FSH in the blood yearly in the cycle. They may ask the question. The menstrual cycle divided into 3 phases. First phase is what is that? Bleeding. Second one is follicular. Third one is called as what is that? Already we discussed. The follicular phase, which hormone is high? Okay. So the FSH hormone increases the level of the FSH in the blood yearly in the cycle. This is very, very important. Then what happened? The FSH, what they will do? The FSH stimulate the growth of the selected ovarian follicle and maturation of the primary oocytes. Already we discussed. Mitosis takes place. After the mitosis, what happened? The primary oocyte secreted takes place in the follicle. It is which is responsible for the, which hormone is responsible for the ovarian follicle production or maturation, means FSH, follicle stimulating. That's why the follicle stimulating. Okay, note it down. Corresponding hormone is, what is that? The follicle stimulating hormone responsible for the maturation of the primary oocytes in these follicles. Then The FSH also stimulate the follicular cells to secrete the estradiol, a female sex hormone or estrogen. Again, not only the FSH, and addition with this follicular cells also secrete the estradiol, not in the estradiol, and a female sex hormone or estrogen. Here, FSH, estradiol, estrogen also secreted by the follicular cells. That's why the phase is called as follicular phase, otherwise called as proliferating. Proliferating means nothing but multiplication or divisions, like that. Secretion, secretory phases also comes. Okay, see here. The egg at this time is in the late primary or the secondary oocyte stage with the meiotic division in progress. This is called as, what is that? The secondary oocyte is called as matured ovum, isn't it? Already we studied it. Here, so the estradiol also stimulate the uterus to prepare for the implantation and the nourishment of the fetus likely to arrive after ovulation. What they are telling here, the primary, what is that? Primary cells, otherwise called as primary oocytes formation takes place, already know about. After the primary oocytes, what happened? Second meiosis also takes place. As a result of the formation of secondary oocytes. The secondary oocytes after the secretions, what happened in it also further undergo the further reactions. That means the estradiol also stimulate the uterus to prepare for the implantation. The implantation was initiated by the estradiol component. And also nourishment. Nourishment means, what is that? They provide the nutrient substances of the fetus like to arrive after ovulations. Okay, these are the important things. Okay, and then we'll go to the next one. Is the wall of the uterus relatively thin in the beginning of the cycle, progressively becoming thick by a greater development of its smooth muscles layer, the myometrium, and also proliferation of its epithelial lining, the endometrium. So after the implantation, what happened? There are two layers have been prepared. The two layers are formed. One is called a smooth layer, another one is called a thick layer. Okay, the smooth muscles layer is called as myometrium, and also proliferation of its epithelial lining, the endometrium, also further divided into myometrium, endometrium. Inner part is also called as endometrium. It is also one of the layer, muscles layer. Okay, so these are the physiological changes which occurs within the reproductive part. And then vascularization. What is mean vascularization? It's also another physiological process of the uterus increases and the blood vessels in endometrium become a long and coiled one. Vascularization is nothing but the blood vessels, vacuoles, tube-like structure, the vessels-like structure, that is called as vascularization. What happened? Uterus increases the blood vessels, and the endometrium became a long and also coiled. Okay, so these are the another process. Glycogen and fat accumulate in the endometrial cells. Glands develop which secrete the nutritive fluid into the uterine cavity. There is a uterine cavity is also present in it. The uterine cavity filled with the fluid that is called as nutritive fluids. By the accumulation of what is that? The nutritive substance. What are the nutritive substances? Glycogen and fat accumulated in the endometrial cells. They may ask the questions. The nutritive substances, the nutritive fluid contain what are the components? Glycogen and fat, glycogen protein, glycogen and also minerals, like that. They may ask the question. Glycogen and fat accumulate in the endometrial cells. This is also very, very important. Where uterine cavity, there is a space in between the layer, there is a cavity. The estradiol, on attaining a certain concentration in the blood, inhibit the secretion of the FSH and stimulate the secretion of the luteinizing hormone from the anti-pituitary. It is also opposite reaction. What is it? Estradiol, what happened? No, inhibit the production of which one? FSH, and also stimulate the LH. Opposite reaction. Sometimes they may ask the question. FSH stimulates as well as the luteinizing hormones also inhibited by the hormone Which one of the following? Estradiol. Okay, so this is also important. The LH induce the mature Graafian follicle to burst and eject its egg into the fallopian tube. This is the final stage. That condition is called as what is that? Ovulation. When ovulation takes place, the mature Graafian follicle burst. That is very, very important. The follicles are already finger-like projection is there. They capture the egg. Okay, when it attain the complete maturations. After that, what happen? The Graafian follicle rupture and also the egg comes out. So the condition is called as what is that? Ovulation. It occurs after 14 days from the bleeding. Note it down. This is very, very important. After 14 days from the bleeding stage. Okay, that is called as first stage. See that. This is the menstrual cycle in diagram. Okay, so this is the things. This is the first stage. You have to come from this part to this one. Here the growth of follicles and ovulation, corpus luteum, corpus albicans. This depends upon the which one the hormones is also very, very important. Note it down. This is also estradiol. Second, the FSH, isn't it? That hormone is very, very important. Okay, the follicular phase. This one is called as which phase? So this one is called as what? Okay, luteal phase and also the menses. These are the three phases have been divided. And also the egg is also started from here to here. Okay, in this side, what happened in the uterine cycle and ovarian hormone? What are the hormone responding? Estradiol and also progesterone. The estradiol hormone is increases. What happened? The progesterone hormone will be very less in nature. After the 14th day, what happened? Progesterone will be high and also the estradiol hormone is very less. Okay, each one it has specific, what is that? Hormonal changes. Here what happened? Luteinizing hormone is LH, follicle stimulating hormone. Where it starts, the ovulation takes place, that time what happened? Luteinizing hormone also increases, automatically the follicles also simultaneously increases. Both are interrelated for the ovulation process. Already we discussed. But major event is here only, the estradiol as well as the progesterone. Estradiol, when it increases, automatically what happened? The FSH induced, progesterone is inhibited. Okay, the level is very less compared to here. Suppose progesterone increases, what happened? Automatically the estradiol components also decreases. That time what happened? The bleeding takes place here. In this stage is called as, what is the, see here, this is also, which stage is here? Luteal phase, follicular phase, menses. So these are the things. So follicle already the bleeding, already we studied these things also. It is nothing but the female reproductive organ. See here take place. Here what happened? The follicular ruptures takes place. As a result, what happened? The egg is released, the ovary is released. See here, the egg is released in this spot. Egg is released, it captured by the which one? Fibers, otherwise called as fimbriae structures. It's a finger-like projection. It receives it easily and also transfer from this part to the endometrium. Here the endometrium is there. Endometrium, there are three layers there. Endometrium, myometrium, already say endometrium, inner portion. Myometrium is the outer portion. Okay. So after, suppose the egg is here, just imagine this is considered as egg, means what happened? That is adhere on the surface of the endometrium. That process is called as implantation. Waiting for the sperm. Suppose sperm is reached here, automatically what happened? The bleeding is not possible. Already we discussed. So the female is pregnant. Okay. Suppose if it is not possible, what happened? Automatically all the endometrium parts, it will be, what is that? Ruptured with the egg, and also this one, or some tissues also eliminated from the female reproductive organ. That condition is called as bleeding. See here the changes. Anterior pituitary hormone FSH is a normal level, the LH is a high level. The ovarian hormone estradiol as well as the progesterone, already we discussed that things also. So ovarian hormone, the primitive stages, what happened? It's a very low in nature. That time what happened automatically, the follicle is also secreted. When the ovulation takes place, it indicate the reversible reaction. Ovulation takes place after the 14 days. The ovulation is also comes out due to the estradiol concentration will be high. The progesterone concentration will be very less in nature. It is directly opposite to the next stage. It is estradiol is low and progesterone is high. Okay, that time what happened here? It's waiting for the male gametes. Suppose if it is not possible in this portion, what happened? Automatically, what happened? Progesterone concentration will be very high. As a result, it forms into the corpus albicans, and also it is. Okay, so go to the next one. A luteal or secretory phase. This phase lasts for about 10 days. This is the last days. That means after the, which one second phase, proliferate phase. Okay, it involved the following events: the peak of the LH together with the prolactin hormone also. Prolactin not mentioned in the slide, isn't it? The prolactin is also very, very important. From the anterior pituitary lobe, they stimulate the follicular cells of the empty Graafian follicle to form a yellow body called corpus luteum. Sometimes they may ask the color also. The corpus luteum look like a yellow, red, or orange, or blue, like that. Yellow color, yellow. Don't forget. Okay. When it be the follicles to form a yellow body called the corpus luteum, no, the concentration of the compound or hormone is called as LH together with the prolactin hormone, secreted by anterior pituitary. All are anterior pituitary hormone only. Okay. The corpus luteum secretes another ovarian hormone named progesterone. It is also another type of another type of hormone is also secreted. Corpus luteum also secretes the progesterone hormone. The concentration of the progesterone in the blood rise and remaining high during the most of the secretory phase of the cycle. So already we discussed that things also. Here, see, here the progesterone concentration will be very high. Okay, when it is in the parts of corpus luteum. After the ovulation, the corpus luteum is also what happened? When it increases, the progesterone hormone increases, at the time estradiol is decreases. That time the corpus luteum is also. Okay, see that the progesterone takes over where the estradiol left. It continues the hypertrophy of endometrial lining in the uterus and the fallopian tubes and maintain its throughout the pregnancy. Throughout the pregnancy. At the time of pregnancy, what happened? These are the two is very, very important. One is called as hypertrophy of endometrial lining in the uterus and the fallopian tubes and maintain its throughout the pregnancy. Okay, the progesterone is also necessary for the proper implantation. Already we discussed the progesterone or the fetus in the uterine wall. It stimulates the endometrial glands to secrete a nutrient fluids for the fetus, hence the sperm secretory phase. The progesterone reduces the uterine movements to make the uterus quiet. The corpus luteum secretes a small amount of estradiol also. These are the events occurs during the time of pregnancy. Because fetus need, which one nutrients, which was secreted by the which one secretory phase by which one it stimulates the endometrial glands. Endometrial glands also secreted by progesterone. As a result, what it secretes the nutritive fluids for the fetus. Then the time is called a secretory. That's why it is called a secretory phase. Why? Which component is secreted here? The endometrial glands produce the nutritive fluids. That's why secretion takes place within the endometrium glands. That's why it is called a secretory phase. Progesterone reduces the uterine movement to make the uterus quiet, and the corpus luteum secretes a small amount of the estradiol also. See here. The progesterone inhibits the release of FSH so that it may not develop additional follicle and egg. When the progesterone inhibits the FSH, what happens? It will not undergo the further development of the, what is that? Follicle. It will completely stop the formation of the follicle. When the progesterone concentration is high, FSH is also less. It's act on the FSH. If the fertilization occur and fetus is implanted in the endometria, the tropoplastic cells of the developing placenta secrete a hormone chorionic gonadotropin. This is very, very important. After the implantation, the endometria, the tropoplastic cells also present in it. The tropoplastic cell of the developing placenta secreting a hormone chorionic gonadotropin. Ask the question, chorionic gonadotropin also secreted by which cells? Tropoplastic cell. Where it present? Endometria. The hormone maintain the corpus luteum and stimulate the secretion of the progesterone by it. So this is the another things. So this is very, very important. Once again, I repeat for you, if fertilization occur and fetus is implanted means what is that? Agar on the surface of the endometrium. So as a result, what happens? Automatically the endometria, the tropoplastic cells of the developing placenta secrete a hormone chorionic gonadotropin. Okay, so this is the another important point. By the 16th week, note it down, this is very, very important. After the implantation of the endometrium, after 16th week of the pregnancy, the placenta produce enough progesterone and the new unnecessary corpus luteum undergoes shrinkage. When the progesterone is increases, the corpus luteum undergo the shrinkage process. That means reduced, shrink. Okay. All ovarian cycles remain suspended during the pregnancy. All ovarian cycles. That means what is that? Menstruation cycles. It do not eliminate the egg through the female reproductive organ. So it may be completely stopped during the pregnancy time. There is a reason. Why? Already you know about. Okay. So menopause. What is the meaning of menopause or female climacteric? So okay. The menstruation stop after this is the normal one. During the pregnancy, the menstruation stop is a normal one. Okay. Some of the people after the attaining the age of 45 to 50 age, what happened? You know, there is no menstrual cycle is not possible. That condition is called as menopause. The menopause of female climacteric. The menstruation stop after 45 to 50 years of age. Women lose reproductive ability also. They will not get the egg. They will not produce the egg. So what happened? You know, automatically the menstruation is also stopped. As a result, they will not fertilize the egg also. Menarche, the first menstruation which marks the onset of the puberty. Already you know this is the two stage maximum: menopause stage, menarche stage. This is the first stage, then pregnancy, and then last one is called as menopause. These are the three phases, stages. Like that we may come to the conclusion. Okay, go to the next one. The menstrual irregularity. These are all are considered as menstrual irregularity things. What is that? This has already happened. Okay, normal healthy woman. Okay, after the puberty, they may undergo the marriage or whatever it may be. They will get the child. After that, what happened? You know, the age is also increases automatically. What happened after the 45 years? Automatically the bleeding is stopped. That means the menstruation is stopped. That condition is called as menopause. The first stage is called as menarche. Sometimes it may be different. There may be clinically proved what is the menstrual irregularities. Okay, so they know very well about the female. They know very well about the male. They do not know. This may be amenorrhea, absence of MC, absence of MC, or excessive bleeding. That is called as dysmenorrhea. This may be amenorrhea, absence of menstrual cycle. MC denotes menstrual cycles. Or excessive bleeding is also happened. That condition is called as dysmenorrhea. You have to note it down: amenorrhea and dysmenorrhea. These two things is noted down. This is very, very important. That has been expanded here. Okay. Amenorrhea. The menstruation does not occur due to the many physiological, hormonal, or mental defect. This is the sign of sterility. Amenorrhea means what is that? Menstruation does not occur. What happened? It may be physiological, it may be chromosomal or hormonal imbalances or mental defect. It will not happen. That condition is called as what is that? That is the sign of the sterility. Like it will not, the egg, it will not produce. At the same time, what happened? You know, they can't not able to fertilize the sperm also. And another one is called as dysmenorrhea, abnormal or irregular menstruations which cramps and profuse bleeding due to the locally produced prostaglandins. Okay, here the hormonal physiological is responsible for the amenorrhea. Dysmenorrhea is abnormal or irregular menstruation with cramps and profuse bleeding due to the locally produced, which one you know? And prostaglandins. This is also very, very important things. Just to go through it, it's better for you. Go to the book, then only you will get the informations. So that's all about the part 3. We'll pass on to the next one is called as part 4. Dhananachmi, what are you doing?
Nothing, sir.
Please switch off the video aspect. Okay, mode. Okay.
Sir, by miss, sir.
Okay. Anyhow. Okay. So we will pass on to the next one is what is that? Part 4. Just imagine the reproduction, human reproduction, the part 4 we are going to see. Okay. The part 3 is also finished. We pass on to the next one is part 4. Human reproduction. Okay. Human reproduction, particularly already you know about. Here you must study male reproductive organs, female reproductive organs, male gamete production, that is called as spermatogenesis and oogenesis. After that, what will happen? You know, the female cycles. What are the cycles which occurs? Now we are going to study the what is that? Third part. I mean, sorry, fifth part. Okay, releasing of sperm into the female reproductive organ is called as insemination. Note it down. This is very, very important. Releasing of sperm into the female reproductive organ is called as inseminations. A human sperm can live for weeks in male genetical tract. Once ejaculated in the semen, it lives only for 48 to 72 hours outside the body. That is noted down, very, very important. How many hours the sperm lives after the ejaculation? Like that, they may ask the question. Maybe 3 days only, 3 days, 48 to 72 hours. The sperm move in the liquid medium secreted by the female genital tract at a speed 1.5 to 3 mm per minute. Note it down. This is also very, very important. Once again, releasing of sperm into the female reproductive organ is called as inseminations. Once ejaculated in the semen, it lives only for the 48 to 72 hours outside the body. Sperm move in the liquid medium secreted by female genital tract at the speed of 1.5 to 3 millimeter per minute. Okay, the prostaglandins of the semen help in the movement of the spermatozoa. Which one is responsible for the movement of the spermatozoa? The prostaglandins secrete the semen. See here. Once the sperm are released, that condition is called as capsitation of sperm occurs in the female genital system and involves first step. Removal of the membrane cholesterol present over the acrosome. Note it down. This is very, very important. How the fertilization takes place within the female reproductive organs. The cholesterol present. Cholesterol is nothing but the fat component present in the acrosome, weakening the membrane cover. Okay. So due to which one you know? Some of the components. And then dilution of the decapitations. Here the capitation. This is called as decapitation factors. Some of the factors present in it. That factors what happen in dilution of the decapitations. Okay. As a result, what happened in sperm easily enter into the pot. Entry of calcium into sperms causing rapid whiplash movement of the tail pot. Which element is essential for the movement of the tail pot? Calcium. The motile sperm swim rapidly. Without calcium, the swimming process is also very less. The cholesterol is also there. And also one more is there, very, very important. Energy component is also very, very important. That energy component is also secreted by the, which one, body part, isn't it? The one of the component is called as a cell-bound organelle is called as mitochondria. The mitochondria produce, what is that? Spiral mitochondria present in the body part. They produce the, which one? High energy compound, ATP. It is also very, very important for the movement of the sperm. The pass through the cervix, enter into the uterus, and finally reaches the ampullary region of the fallopian tubes. These are the events. Once captations, cholesterol present over the acrosome, weakening the membrane cover, and calcium is also very, very important. And also after that, what happened? It can be swim rapidly, finally reaches the ampullary region of the fallopian tubes. See that this is the entry point. Okay, fallopian tubes. Okay, how it will be entered. So this is a entering of the, what is that? Egg as well as the sperm fusion takes place in this part. Okay, so this is another fertilization process. Now we are studying the fertilization process. This is the largest one. This is a female gamete, already you know about. This is a male gamete, microscopic. Both are united. How it will be entered, the things we are going to discuss. The process of fusion of sperm with the ovum is called as fertilization. Already we studied. Okay, once you enter the female reproductive organ, that condition is called as insemination. That things also already been discussed. After the insemination, how many times it will be, how many hours they may be live? 48 to 72 hours. This is also very, very important. And how much they may move from the female genetical tract, that is called as 1.5 to 3. That things we are good. Once it reaches the ambulatory region, what happens? The fertilization takes place. Okay, fertilization means what is that? A male gamete and the female gamete united together form as a fertilization. The process is called as fertilization. After the fertilization, what happens? The zygote formation takes place. Okay, see that one. So this is the process, fertilization. Okay, see here, this is first polar body, and the egg nucleus is in the center. The cytoplasm of the ovum, this is called female gamete. This one, the largest one is a female. Already you know, but this is the male gametes. They are all try to reach the female egg. Okay, this one is already entered. Okay, this one is trying. This one is also trying. See here, the outer post, there is acrosome is that secreted some component. It may be penetrated inside the what happened here. And after that, what happened? It will release the egg, and finally it reaches the egg nucleus. Okay, this is the fertilization process occurs inside. Vitelline membrane. Vitelline membrane is what is that? This is the vitelline membrane. It's surrounded by the egg nucleus only. Okay, egg surrounded by the vitelline. It's nothing but the membranes, just like a transparent. Okay, so and zona pellucida. See here, this is called as zona pellucida. This is the part, zona pellucida. Okay, so this is the entire structure of the fertilization. How it will be happen inside the female reproductive organs, otherwise called as fallopian tubes. The fusion of gamete, otherwise called as syngamy. This is the process. Once it reaches the fallopian tube, how it will be entered, all those things already we studied. Fusion of gamete, otherwise called as syngamy. The ovary, various steps involved are as follows. What are the various steps also happen here? It occurs in the male reproductive part. That is called as which one you know? Sperm. The acrosomal reaction, a number of sperm adhere to the surface of the egg. Already we saw it, isn't it? That condition is called as agglutinin. See here, 1, 2, 3, 4 have been showed here. Okay, 4. What is that? Male gamete. Adhere means what is that? It's also sticking on the surface of the which one you know? Female gamete, isn't it? That condition is called as what is that? Agglutination, adhesion. The acrosome start releasing its hydrolytic enzyme. Already told you. Acrosome, it has a hydrolytic enzyme of sperm lysine, which include, these are the two enzymes also present in here. Just to see it. See, this is the hydrolytic enzyme. You come to the conclusion. The acrosome is that this is the part, isn't it? The tip of the head, isn't it? This part is acrosome. The acrosome, what happened? They produce a hydrolytic enzyme. Lytic means splitting, isn't it? Lytic enzyme is also secreted. Not only that, sperm lysine is also there. Okay, that thing is also secreted. And not only that, and also hyaluronidase. Note it down. This is very, very, very important one. Dissolves the hyaluronic acid responsible for the cementing of follicle cells or granular cells. This is another type of enzyme. ASC is a suffix for all the enzymes. ASC, isn't it? So hyaluronidase. Okay. Sometimes they may ask the questions. The follicle cell as well as the granular cells also cemented by, cemented means adhere, okay, or fixing with the help of the enzyme is called as which one, hyaluronidase, which secrete the dissolved hyaluronic acid. As this is the acid form, this is also protein, is also a enzymatic form. Acid means amino acid, like that, hyaluronic acid, acidic nature. This one is called as protein nature. That's all, because the enzymes are proteins. And another one is called as corona penetrating enzyme, CPE, dissolved corona radiata. What are the parts present in the egg? What are the layer present? They are all are, what is that? Degenerated by the enzyme activities. These are the 3 steps given, isn't it? Acrosomal reaction also happen. Hyaluronidase also happen. Corona penetrating enzyme is also participate in the fusion of gamete. That means male gamete enter into the female egg inside.
Sir,
Yeah.
so this hyaluronidase will be there in the sperm's head, sir, in
Yeah.
the acrosome.
Yeah, that's the reason. Hyaluronidase dissolve the hyaluronic acid. That is, it is also present in the acrosome part only. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Any ideas? Any doubt in the category? Ajay?
No, sir.
Okay. Because acrosome produce how many enzymes? There are so many enzymes, isn't it?
Yes,
so
sir.
that is the reason. That is the reason. Okay, I will tell you. Suppose if you have any doubt, we will clarify it. No need to worry. See here, the haploid sperm is the, here there is a haploid egg is there. Both are come in contact close together. As a result, what happens? They may be enter. How it will enter? So many hormone responsible. It all are destroy the outermost layer. Then only the head is enter inside. When it enters, what happen? Automatically the male gametes also released. These are the male homologous chromosomes. These are the female homologous chromosomes. Okay, that is called as diploid zygote. This is a 23 haploid in nature. This one is also a haploid in nature. Here, both the gametes united together form as a zygote, isn't it? This condition is called as diploid zygote. Already you know about that things also. See here, the fertilization, egg plus sperm, you will get zygote. Then the zona lysine, acrosin also is the digested zona pellucida contact to acrosome stimulate the development of an outgrowth by the oocytes called a fertilization cone or cone of reception, like that. Reception, receiving. Zona lysine is also there. Acrosin also is there. Okay. So they are all are what happened, digested zona pellucida. Digest means what happened? It may be melted. Okay. Then only the acrosome enter inside. Okay. These are the reactions happen inside. Not only that, and cortical and also zona reaction is so. As the sperm head come in contact, not here, the spelling mistake, with the fertilization cones, in case opening of sodium channel to cause a depolarization of the ovum membrane. This is also happened there. Not only the calcium, but the membrane aspect. Okay. Calcium is responsible for that, but here movement, but in this category, sodium is also very, very important because the sperm cell wall, having which one, positive as well as negative charge. Already you know about the impulse transfer from the one part to another part. There is a depolarization, polarization. Already studied in the nerve system, isn't it? Likewise, the sodium is channels to cause the depolarization of the ovum membrane. First black to check the perispermy, and calcium move to the egg. Okay, instead of sodium, calcium is also enter. Okay, so depolarization means remove from the sodium, removal of the sodium from the ovum membrane. Ovum membrane, the sodium is removed, calcium is also enter. This is the very, very important events. Okay, which occur within the egg and sperm. Note it down. This is very, very important. Sperm and egg membrane dissolves complete. Sperm enters cytoplasm of, and the envelope is left out. So once what happened, the membrane completely dissolved. What happened, the egg? What is the nucleus enter inside? There is karyons. Nucleus enter inside. This is the reaction. Okay, when it enters the sperm of nucleus. Okay, and acrosome is there. The acrosomal reaction takes place. Acrosomal reaction, see here, there is acrosomal reaction also takes place. They secrete so many hormones. As a result, what happened? The cell wall of the female gametes, isn't it? Female gametes, otherwise called the egg cell wall, completely what happened? Melted. Okay, as a result, what happened? It can be easily penetrated into the ovum. Sorry, that means egg cell. That is the region. Once it reaches, what happened? See here, the fission of oocyte. Oocyte, where is it? Egg is, where is it? It what happened? Search it, and finally it reaches the egg directly. Extracellular phase, oocyte plasma membrane, cortical granules, and oocyte cytoplasm. These are all the things. See here, how many sperms is also there. This is the reaction. Once it reaches, automatically the acrosome secreting the components. As a result, it melts the cell wall of the egg, isn't it? So after that, what happens? It may be penetrated, fully penetrated inside, and also it reaches the cortical cells reactions. See here. See, these are the spots. The sperm activated by the female reproductive tract, already know about flagellum, nucleus, acrosome. These are all very, very important. Here the, which one acrosome is there. The sperm bind zona pellucida. This is the portion of the zona pellucida. It's also bind with it along with the zona pellucida. This is the part, the zona pellucida, isn't it? Acrosomal reaction also takes place. Here the secretion, the light green color given, there is a small SAD-like structures. This is the enzyme activities, the hydrolinic enzyme, hydrolinic acids, and also sperm lysins. All those things, activities also takes place in this zona pellucida region only. As a result, what happens? It may be give a space for the penetration. So that once it happen, what happened? Automatically, the sperm lies cold in the zona completely. It may be just like a bore well. Okay, for the with the help of which one the lysin enzymes. Okay, after that, what happened? It may be release the male gamete, is the egg membrane, inside the egg membrane. Okay, this is the event. The calcium influx causes the extrusion of the cortical granules, cortical reaction, and zona reaction, which make the zona pellucida improves to a second sperm by destroying the sperm receptor. Once one sperm will enter, okay, suppose second sperm by destroying the sperm receptors also. The cortical reaction and zona reactions constitute a slow black of check polyspermy. Okay, sometimes it happens, more than two child. Okay, two sperm is also enter inside. Only one time, only one sperm is also entered. This is normally fertilization. Sometimes it may be entered in the simultaneously in the two sperm is also entered. Okay, the entry of sperm into the ovum includes the completion of the meiotic divisions of the secondary oocytes. Okay, this is the process. Once again, cortical reactions and zona reactions constitute slow black and check polyspermy. They will not allow the more than one sperm into the single egg, which are the cortical reaction and zona reaction. But after the entry of the sperm into the ovum induce the completion, completely finished, when it fusion together, when of the meiotic division of the secondary oocytes. Okay, the entry of the sperm causes breakdown of the metaphase, promotion factors. When it enter, what happen? Automatically it may be causes breakdown of the metaphase promotion factor and turn on anaphase promotion complex. Okay, this is the part. These are the reaction cell division which occurs within the ovum. Okay, so this is result first completion of the meiosis 2. The second meiotic division is also unequal and result in the formation of second polar body and haploid ovum would. Soon the haploid nucleus of the sperm that the ovum fused together to form a diploid zygote. This is the final stage. In between, what happened we do not know, isn't it? Already we studied which one, when the haploid cell united with the another haploid cell, male gamete and female gamete, we will get it the diploid zygote. When we before that, when the sperm is entered, these are the reaction happen. These are the physiological process also takes place. These are the divisions also takes place. That means metaphase promotion factor and also anaphase promotion factor also stand. This one is up. This one is also started. As a result, what happened? No, meiosis 2 takes place. Secondary polar bodies also produce. The secondary polar bodies, what happened? No, united with the egg or ovum. Finally, we'll get the diploid zygote. Male and female pronuclei approaches each other and finally mixing up the parental and maternal chromosome ampimixis. That means the ampimixis, male and female gametes are united, occurs resulting in the formation of synkaryon. Karyon is nothing but the unison of the two nucleus. Karyon means karyocytes means nucleus. That is the formation of zygote. Okay, this is the things. So we will see the remaining things on the next classes. Will you please? We'll move on to the things. So already we discussed what are the things, what is by fertilization. Before that, what is that? What are the things is already we discussed, Okay. So here, what is by fertilization? How it will be formed? How many hours it will take? How many minutes it will be moved? What are the responsible component? Capitation, decapitation is also there. Cholesterol present over the acrosome, weakening of the membrane cover. Calcium is essential for the movement of the sperm, particularly tail part. And when it reaches the ample region, what are the changes which occurs? The zygote formation takes place. That means the reaching of the sperm within the zygote. Okay, egg, particularly fertilization process, how it will be. That things also already we discussed. Okay, so this is the process already fertilization. Here what happened, there are so many things is adhere on the surface of the ovary wall, isn't it? When it enters, what happen? Automatically the hydrolytic acid as well as the other license of the enzymes also secreted by the acrosomes, and the inner side there is a wall. Is that the wall is completely what is that? Melting. So it will enter inside. What happen? Automatically the male gametes also released. That time what happened, that reaction is also given here, isn't it? That things is given here. Which one, see here. This is the portion. Okay, this is the metaphase promotion factor is off, and will stand on the anaphase phase and completion of the meiosis 2. Secondary polar body is also secreted. That is a very, very, these are all occurs within the ovary. So then after that, what happened to the sperm as well as the egg also united. As a result, we will get the diploid zygote. That condition is called as apomixis. Apomix is nothing but the unition of the karyons, male and female, as well as the female nucleus is united. That condition is called as synkaryon. They are collectively called as zygote. Okay, that's all about today. We will see the remaining things on the next class. Thank you, my dear students. We follow it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Kanna. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.